showers might even last the entire day. Otherwise, just spotty, mostly cloudy in the upper 60s. I'm KIRO 7 pinpoint meteorologist Nick Allard.
It is cloudy and 66 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Ursula Reutin.
Subscribe to us on YouTube for our can't miss clips. KIRO Radio 97.3 FM. News and talk, powered by the Pacific Northwest.
The Big Lead is brought to you by 3010 Weight Loss for Life.
The Dori Monson Show on KIRO Radio. This is The Big Lead.
Coming to you from the Carter Subaru studio. Welcome. Welcome to The Big Show. And oh, it's good to be back.
It's so nice to have you guys back.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Nicole's back today. I'm back today. How'd everything go while we were gone?
We tried to hold it together. It was very tough.
Really? Was that tough?
You know what? Everyone who filled in for you did a great job. But it's never you. It's never Nicole. It's different.
You know,
and in fact, I don't play a big role while you're gone, too. So it's like we're all gone.
Yeah. Well, I almost raced back. What we did was my wife, our 3 daughters, and then 2 of my dear co-worker friends, Nicole and Jessamine from 710 ESPN. And then we had about 36 listeners. Is that right? Is that the right tally? 36 or so?
Yeah,
roughly?
I thought there was 40.
Maybe
something like that.
And the nicest bunch of people you could possibly imagine.
We have the best listeners.
Yeah, and so we'd sit and do, a bunch of them would come over where we were sitting for karaoke night, and others of us.
Did you do your Frank Sinatra and
Luck
Billy
Be
Joel?
a Lady was not available.
What?
I know.
How
it
is
was an
that
outrage.
possible?
It was an outrage. I tried doing Only the Good Die Young.
Oh.
I can't hit the high notes.
But I did get some audio of it. We'll have for fast.
Oh,
no,
perfect.
We don't need that. But anyway, got lots of sun, saw beautiful parts of the world. It was wonderful.
Nicole was posting, and you weren't putting any pictures up, but Nicole was posting, and incredible. The weather was perfect all the way through. It looked like you had
85 to 90 every day.
The week
Beautiful.
before had been that record heat wave
You're right.
thing, and we missed that, so it was perfect.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So it was hard.
It was really good.
Launching back into
But
the real world
I'll
is
tell you
always
what,
tough.
though, it's not, because it was a long enough trip. I was gone for 2 weeks, and often I'll say, "Oh, I got to go back to work tomorrow." I'm ready. I was ready to come back to work.
That's the sign of a good vacation.
And as you saw, since you're on all the emails, I started doing show prep for today.
I know.
Starting last Wednesday.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, what is going on here?
Yeah, I was doing show prep for today's show. I know it's not going to sound like it's put all that prep into it, but yeah, I was very eager to get back. But it was just a lovely, lovely time, and we can talk a little more about it in the fastest 15. But good to be back. Good to have the gang. Sean is back. Andrew's here. Hey, Andrew, did you miss me?
I definitely did.
How'd you do with was it just Dave Bowes for the 2 weeks?
As far as I can remember, and everything went fine.
Did you guys click? Did everything flow?
Yeah.
Okay.
It did.
Dave
always
does
does
a
it.
great
Yeah,
job.
he
Dave's
does a great
awesome.
job.
I love Dave. Okay. All right. So, and by the way, some of the things I'm going to cover might sound like old news. I'll just give you one little insider.
There was a lot of
behind
stuff
the
that was
curtain.
going on. Every day was like, ooh, too bad Dory's not here.
I think it was the first or second night on the ship. We decided that all 7 of us, my family of 5, Nicole, Jessamine, we would all go to dinner together. So we'll meet 15 minutes early and have some drinks before dinner. And we're sitting there, and all of a sudden, popping up on my Twitter is apparently Lil Nas X. He said that he's worried about global warming, and Jay Inslee sent out the single most hilarious tweet I've ever seen in my life when he simply wrote, "Let's collab, Lil Nas X." And I told my wife and Nicole, I said, I want to go home right now so I can talk about this. So, yes, I'm going to be talking about week-old stuff, too, because it's just been all bottled up inside of me. for 2 weeks here. So, with all that, let me say one other thing. I think that there is no public entity that needs to be transparent more than our police departments. And we're going to have a story with Carolyn Osorio. She broke this story a couple of days ago about how now apparently Dow Constantine, who goes out drinking every night and has sheriff's deputies on the executive protection detail driving him around as his personal Uber, and instead of curtailing the behavior after we busted him on it a month and a half ago, after I talked to the sheriff about it in October when she was running for sheriff. And one of the things that I asked her was, do you promise you will come on my show? Did you bump that up? Okay. Do you promise you will come on my show anytime I ask you? Again, this is when she was a candidate for sheriff. And here's what she said. Would you always pick up the phone and come on my show if there was any issue, even if it was an embarrassing one for you or the department?
Absolutely.
Every time. You will always come on.
Every time.
Okay. Mitzi Johanknick's a liar. And I think it's real problematic when the head of a police agency is a liar, because you have some real, not just credibility problems, but it's a trickle-down thing when your top cop is a liar. She said that so she could get votes. It's kind of like how Jay Inslee promised you and me he wouldn't raise taxes. And now Johanknick has been ducking me for 3.5 months on this issue. And I knew this Dow Constantine issue, that we were going to break that story when I asked her that question. And when your top cop is a liar, that is a problem for your department. I know a lot of men and women who work for the King County Sheriff's Department. I know what's happening to the morale there under Johanknick. I love the people I know who work for the Sheriff's Department. But just as when Bellevue had tremendous problems at the very top with their chief several years ago, their entire police department was a mess. And then Bellevue decided, we got to clean this up, and we have to be more transparent, and we have to have people who will keep their word, and they now are very accessible. They have really good people in place, and Bellevue has done a 180 in the last few years, going from just a really bad agency to one that has been terrific. And to their credit, they asked me if they could come down to the radio station, and we went in a conference room. This was all off the air, and they asked if they could videotape a Q&A thing with me about how they could best respond to the media and be available, and they obviously implemented an awful lot of that stuff. Well, the King County Sheriff's Department has a proven demonstrable liar at the very top who refuses to come on our show. They say, call us when you get back from your trip. I know Nicole contacted them again this morning, but you heard her voice. She was unequivocal, and she does not want to answer any of the questions on these very important stories that we've been talking about over the last couple of months. And we've got a really bad dude in Dow Constantine who is at the head of King County, and who, instead of cleaning up his act, according to our sources, has gotten more belligerent. And as we will tell you at 1:30 this afternoon, Carolyn's going to come back on with me because she had a story a couple of days ago when I was on vacation about how Dow Constantine now is allegedly retaliating against somebody he thought was one of our original sources, who wasn't one of our original sources. But he's retaliating against this guy. And so I am telling you, we've got some stink at the top of King County, in the executive's office, in the sheriff's office. Now, Mitzi Johanknick, you can come back on. You can honor your commitment that you made to me last October 11th. would you always pick up the phone and come on my show if there was any issue, even if it was an embarrassing one for you or the department?
Absolutely.
Every time. You will always come on.
Every time.
Absolute lie. Just an absolute lie from Mitzi Johanknick. And when you have a liar at the top of a police department, the public should be worried about that. Because what else is going on? What else does this person lie about? What else did she say to get elected? You know how she was smearing John Urquhart during the campaign? How much of that was true? And how much of that was an absolute lie so that she could get her climb to the top? Once you are exposed as a liar, everything you do and say is under scrutiny. So now this probably ensures that she will never honor her commitment to come on with me, but I will remind you on a regular basis of that soundbite until the lying King County Sheriff finally honors her pledge to all of us. Okay, with all that as mere prelude, I told you I had a lot to say today. Let's get to the big lead.
The big lead. Top story.
Okay, I'm serious. When I saw that tweet from Inslee a week and a half ago, oh my goodness. Lil Nas X was just tweeting about global warming. We got to do something about global warming. And Jay Inslee retweets it with the message, "Hey, Lil Nas X, let's collab." Could he have sounded more dorky? I'm guessing that Lil Nas X doesn't want anything to do with this losing presidential campaign. You ain't exactly a wagon that up-and-coming rappers want to tie themselves to, Jay. Sorry to tell you about that. And then the hits just came on and on and on for Jay Inslee. I mean, when he said in this disgusting, and he was probably trying to be funny, but it just, again, came across as pandering and unfathomably stupid.
My first act will be to ask Megan Rapinoe to be my Secretary of State. I haven't asked her yet, so this one could be a surprise to her.
That's just painful. He's just trying anything. Lil Nas, Megan Rapinoe. Megan Rapinoe would be the first Secretary of State to have shown her his or her nipple on live television. You heard about that, right? At the ESPYs over the weekend, Megan Rapinoe was wearing a tuxedo jacket with nothing underneath, and when she leaned over to kiss Sue Bird when she was coming up on stage, she had a nip slip on live TV on the East Coast. ESPN cleaned it up. I don't know if it was ESPN or ABC, but they cleaned it up for the West Coast feed so the people on the West Coast couldn't see Megan Rapinoe's nipple.
Well, it was the ESPYs.
Yeah.
In other words, ESPN.
No, I think it's on ABC. I think ABC, their parent network, and I think they air it. Because if it was on ESPN, there wouldn't have been a West Coast feed because ESPN doesn't do split feeds for East and West. So it must have been ABC. Anyway, so Megan Rapinoe showed her nipple. He wants her to be Secretary of State. Why? Because she said she didn't want to go to the effing White House because she refused to put her hand over her heart for the anthem. Because she bowed her head for the anthem. The captain of the United States national team. It's such a clown show. I don't know Megan Rapinoe, but what she has chosen to present as her public persona, I don't like. I'm trying to be careful. I don't say I don't like Megan Rapinoe because I don't know her. But I know how she presents herself to the public, and I find that disgusting. I'm just not a fan of hers at all. But Secretary of State, and then did you see the thing with the little boy that wanted her autograph?
Well, yes. I don't know that it's quite as bad as everybody. I think she's
It's as
very
bad.
distracted, and the boy gives her the ball, and she signs it and gives it back to him. She's just distracted.
She never made. She's sitting in the front row at the ESPYs. This little kid looks like he's about 8. He walks up and gives her a soccer ball and a Sharpie. She doesn't look at him. She's talking. I don't know if it's to Sue or left or somebody else. She doesn't even give him the barest glance. Takes the ball like from her right side, signs it, puts her hand out. The kid is just, all the kid probably wanted was one moment of human contact, just an eye-to-eye glance.
I agree.
And
It looked bad.
Oh, it was awful. I would never do that to some little kid that wanted to, do something nice and, just say, hey, I'd like to get your autograph. That's going to be our next Secretary of State, Jay Inslee.
No.
Jeez. And then Jay, well, what's Jay doing? He's down to 0%. Everybody says he's angling for a cabinet post, but Trump's the favorite to get reelected. We just got word yesterday that Inslee's second quarter fundraising was only $3 million. Compare that to Pete Buttigieg, who made almost $25 million. Biden, $21 million. Liz Warren, $19 million. Bernie, $18 million. Jay Inslee, $3 million. And who's giving him that money? Why don't you just burn it all? Just take it out and burn that money, because you'll get the exact same effect from it all. And then this was really disturbing. I love the Howard Stern show. That's, when I'm out driving around, I listen to Howard Stern most days. There's a reason why he's at the top of his industry. They know what they're doing. But, oh, my goodness, this was disgusting from the Howard Stern show.
Who'd you get into?
I got into this guy, Governor Jay Inslee. I saw him on TV, and he was really well-spoken. His record, I don't know where he's even governor, but one of those states you don't care about. And he did a really good job, and he's on top of the environmental issue, equal pay.
Is he the dude from Washington?
Yeah, I don't know where he's from, but he's into a public option, but he's well-spoken and kind of upbeat, and his whole push is the number one issue is the environment.
Yeah, I think that's him.
Our kids aren't going to have a planet. Governor of the state of Washington.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like this guy. I thought he was pretty good.
Who'd you get into?
I got into this guy, Governor.
I think that's
repeating.
Okay. Well, Howard, please, you do a darn fine show, but don't go talking about Jay Inslee to the rest of America like he could be president. The man lied to me. Won't raise taxes. Mitzi Johanknick, a liar. Come on anytime. Got a bunch of liars running things around here. And that's why I will remain your beacon of light and truth. And that is your big lead.
The Big Lead on KIRO Radio.
Okay, and then the thing that's blowing up nationally. Trump telling the 4 freshman congresswomen to go back where they came from. What a ridiculous controversy this is. Details right after Ursula checks the news here on the Dori Monson Show.
This hour of the Dori Monson Show is brought to you by Insulation Northwest.